waste of your talent. Things don't always go as we plan them or as we want them to go. But baby, because it don't, there's no license for you to quit. You don't like what's going on your job, but you go back the next day. You go back the next week. You go back the next month. You go back the next year. He didn't like what he saw. Come on now. Let's keep it real. Let us be honest with ourselves and honest with our neighbor, our brothers and our sisters. We don't like everything we see. That's right. That's right. We don't like everything about the church. Go ahead, Judge. We don't like everybody that's in the church. We don't like some of the folk that's in positions in the church. Some of you may not like what I'm saying this morning. And we'll leave. We'll quit the church. We'll quit coming. We'll walk out on God. We'll turn our backs on God, our only hope, our only help, our only means of survival. Yeah. We will turn our backs on Him and walk away. But we will stay on a job catching hell 6 days, 5 days, 7 days a week because of a little paycheck that we get because we feel that we gotta take this because I need this money. But baby, when God is the one who is supplying, when God is the one who is supplying. And I need to tell us today as I hurry to my close. Before you quit. Before you turn your back on God. Before you walk out on God. Before you give up. There's some things that you need to do. That you ought to do. First thing you ought to do, you ought to remember the word of God. Yeah. Are y'all still here? Yeah. Because David said, thy word that I hid in my heart that I may not sin against God. His word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. You ought to remember the word of God. You ought to remember Luke 9:62. He that put his hand to the plow and look back. That word look back does not literally mean looking back, but it means turn back. Is not fit for the king. Don't focus, if you will, on the circumstances that are around you, but rather focus on the destiny that is before you. Let me tell you this, then I'm going to leave you alone. Asaph had made up his mind. Yeah. That he was done. That was a wrap. That's it. I'm through. Asaph was a musician in the temple. And not only was he a musician in the temple, but he was training other musicians. for the temple work. And can I just tell you today that before you quit, think about that somebody who looks up to you. Think about that somebody who wants to be just like you. You may not even be aware that they are watching you. But think about that person who looks up to you. Think about the damage you will do to them. Think about the hurt that you will do to them. Asaph had made up his mind. I'm going to quit. But I'm going to church one more time. I'm going, and I'm going to give them my resignation. He had the letter written out in his pocket. He was going because he was tired of what he was seeing. And my brothers and sisters, I need to tell us today that we may get tired in the way, or should I say along the way. But baby, don't never get tired of the way.
That's it.
He walked in, made his way to the altar, took a seat at the altar. Choir members was on their way. Perhaps to the choir stand. They passed by him and they looked at him and they smiled at him as they would go to the choir loft. Ursula was over in the corner. She came and brought him a bulletin and gave him the bulletin for the day's worship. Somebody walked up to him and tapped him on his back, leaned over and said to him, "Man, don't you know you blessed my heart last Sunday?"
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to tell you last Sunday. But I thought I'd catch you today before worship starts.
Yeah.
You really bless my heart. While they walked away, somebody else walked up to him and said, "Ezra, are you going to let that sister sing that song that she sung last Sunday? I love that song. I love to hear her sing it. I know perhaps you have a schedule for the day, but if you can you just fit that somewhere in the worship today?" The pastor came out and told him, he said, "Hey, Sam, look, man, I'm struggling today. I don't know if it's my sinus. I don't know if it's allergies, but I need a little extra from you today." And he was sitting there, and he was trying to make up his mind. That I'm gonna throw in the towel. But what happened to him? He fooled around and came to worship one more time. And you see, somebody, maybe this morning you've been contemplating on quitting. Maybe you have made up in your mind that you are throwing in the towel, that you're going to give up. But can I tell you something today that Satan made a terrible mistake. What was the mistake that Satan made? Satan made the mistake of letting you walk in the house of worship this morning. And when you got here, you saw smiling faces. Somebody greeted you. Somebody had something good to say to you. Now you're glad that you came to the house of worship. And I just need to tell somebody in here this morning that, baby, that when your life get dark, don't doubt in the dark what God has taught you in the light. It may be dark right now. You may be feeling down right now. You may be low right now. But I need to tell you that the morning is coming. And when the morning comes, I heard Jeremiah say in Lamentations that his mercies are new every morning. This is a new day. I got new mercies from the journey today. The mercy I had yesterday is all gone, and it can't help me for today. But I got new mercies today. And Asaph was sitting at that organ, and they had the call to worship. And after the call to worship, something got in his fingers, something got in his feet, something caused him to rock from side to side. As he began to play, he started thinking about the goodness of God. And I'm just come to tell you this morning, before you quit, think about not the situation or circumstances that surround you, but think about the goodness of God. Think about how he's brought you from a mighty long way. Think about when others said you wouldn't make it. Think about the door that he opened. You know, I'm reminded of a story, and this is a true story. It's something that happened in my life. At my membership church, the pastor had appointed me as director of visitation, and my job was to visit not only sick and shedding, but I had to go and see about a member who had lost her husband. And when I got to the house, I rang the doorbell. The door was open, but the screen door was shut, and she never looked up. She never looked around. She just said, "It's open, and come on in." And when I walked in, I was wondering, while I was on the way there, I was wondering, what was I going to say to her? They had been married for over 60 plus years, but when I walked in the house, she was sitting on the couch, and she looked up and she said, "Sit down, Reverend." And I took a seat, and she had in her lap, she had a photo album, and that photo album, she was turning pages in the photo album, reminiscing over their marriage, reminiscing over their journey. And she would turn the page, and every time she turned the page, she would smile and she would say, there he is. When he was training the children how to ride the bicycle, she turned the page and she said, there he is. When our daughter got married, he turned the page. He says, there he is. When we took our first family vacation, she would turn the page and she would say, there he is. When we had our little camping trip, and all I'm trying to tell you this morning is that when you feel like quitting, when you feel like throwing in the towel, you ought to sit down and take a stroll down memory lane and call the roll. Is there anybody in here who can say, there he is? Take a retrospective look back through the Word of God, and you'll see him at the Red Sea when Moses, there he is. You'll see him, in the fiery furnace with the Hebrew boys. There he is, making the lions behave in a lion den for Daniel. But wait a minute, there he is, healing the woman with the issue of blood. There he is, calming the sea for the disciples. There he is, feeding 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves. There he is. I'm wondering this morning, do I have any there he is folk in the house this morning? There he is, healing your body. There he is, making a way out of no way. There he is, opening doors been closed in your face. There he is, making a way out of nowhere. There he is, picking you up and turning you around. There he is, putting your feet on solid ground. Ain't you all right? Ain't you all right? Anybody in here can say there he is? Can you say it? There he is. When I was about to give up, when I was about to quit, there he is. He blessed me once and he blessed me twice. He's been blessing me every day of my life. There he is, coming down through 39 prophets, 42 generations, caught a 9-month train in Nazareth, got off in Bethlehem, wrapped in swaddling clothes, laid in a manger. There he is, performing miracles in a desert place, weeping over Jerusalem, tried in unjust courts. There he is, out on a hill called Calvary, hung, bled, and died on Calvary. They put him in a borrowed tomb, but there, Sunday morning, there he is, stepping out of the grave, all power in his hand. There he is, prop me when I'm leaning, rock me when I'm weary, catch me when I'm falling. There he is, in a midnight hour, wiping tears from my eyes. Anybody in here know he's all right? Anybody in here, he's done something for you? If he's done something for you, you ought to put them hands together. If He done something for you, you ought to stand on your feet. If He done something for you, you ought to say, I know He's all right. He's all right. He's all right.
Don't give